Hey folks, this is Michael Knapp. I'm down here at Warrior Fitness, and I love the title of this place called Warrior Fitness, and it reminds me of our spiritual walk. We just finished a study, we're in a study I should say, on Matthew 17. And there's a really interesting principle in Matthew 17. If you just skim the surface of it, you miss it. In Matthew 17, the disciples, three of the disciples and Jesus climb the mountain, and during that time they get the opportunity to meet with Moses, Elijah, and Jesus, and there's this incredible transfiguration scene that happens. And it's interesting, there's a principle in the Bible called expositional constancy. It's actually, you don't read that principle in the Bible, but there's certain times when certain things are repeated over and over again that it has spiritual meaning. And one of those things is the mountain. How many of you ever heard of that, the concept called a mountaintop experience? That actually is biblical, and that comes from the idea that Moses, when he received the Ten Commandments, it was on the mountain that he received the Ten Commandments. It was on the mountain that Moses got to see the Promised Land. It was on the mountain that Abraham got to see the promises of when he was going to sacrifice Isaac. It was on the mountain that when Noah spent all those years building the ark, that the ark finally rested after the flood. It was on the mountain that Elijah got to experience the power of God with overcoming the prophets of Baal. It was on the mountain that Peter, James, and John got to experience the transfiguration of Jesus. And what's really interesting about those mountaintop experiences that if you look at Moses, one of the things that was powerful about one of Moses' experiences is, well, one, every time he went up on the mountain, he got a revelation of God. Every time, and major revelations of God. And he went up on the mountain 8 different times, and each time he got a revelation from God. But one particular time, he also experienced kind of a transfiguration type experience. He spent 40 days and 40 nights in the presence of the Lord. And when he came down, his face was so bright that people couldn't see him. He had to put a veil over his face. And Peter, James, and John had a similar experience with this transfiguration. Well, there's a principle there that in that mountain climbing experience, to have a true mountain climbing experience, and to say, oh, I've had a mountaintop experience, the only way you can really say that is if you climb the mountain. And every one of those experiences, when Jesus was at the transfiguration scene with the disciples, they were at an elevation of potentially 10,000 feet, as well as some of those other mountain type experiences. And to get to 10,000 feet wasn't just a light walk. It was a climb. It was rough. It was challenging. You know, in our modern day Christianity, we have, I hear over and over in these churches, this idea of name it, claim it. You know, the reason you don't have the promises of God is because you haven't named it and claimed it. And we have this, what I mean by a 21st century experience of God is, if I'm hungry, what do? I can go to a fast food restaurant and immediately get something to eat. If I don't like what I'm watching on TV, what do I get? I can flip a channel. Actually, I can flip to 200 channels or 300 channels or 400 channels. I can get an immediate fix, right? If I just walked into this place today and it was, we have to turn on the lights. We have our own key. I flip the lights immediately, get all the lights to come on, and the radio's on by a flip of a switch. So what we want to do is we want to transfer this experience, this 21st century experience of flipping a light switch into our Christianity, and it doesn't always work. What do I mean by that? There's times in my life where I'm praying and I'm struggling and I'm like, why is it God's not answering this? Why is it that I want to feel the presence of the Lord, and I go and I have my prayers? How many of you guys have seen those 1-minute daily devotionals? Well, really? 1 minute? Is that enough? And when I think about that, when I think about our 21st century understanding of Jesus Christ, we have a tendency to want to transition that understanding to our relationship with Christ, and it doesn't work. We can't flip a switch and get answers. We can't name it and claim it all the time. Although sometimes God does answer simple prayers, sometimes it means climbing the mountain. And that climb can be hard. And I know there's been a ton of times in my life where I've been at that 5,000 foot mark when the mountain's actually 10,000 feet, when I need to get the answers. And I'm praying and I'm like, God, I'm at 10,000 feet. I can't take it anymore. And I think, I want my answers now. God, I want my answers now. And he said, keep climbing. Keep climbing. And man, as soon as I keep climbing and keep pressing on, there's times when I get the revelation of God. And I was telling the church this Sunday that, you know, the greatest revelations of God that have come in my life, the greatest, most powerful revelations of God are not only mountaintop experiences where I've had to climb to, but they've also been almost transfiguration type experiences where I've got to feel the presence of God. But again, it's not easy. You know, we have the opportunity to come to Christ. One, we get to walk up the mountain with Christ to begin with. But the idea is, guys, sometimes in our life experiences, it's not about name it, claim it. Sometimes it's about pressing in and pressing on and pushing forward with prayer and fasting, and that's when we truly get to be like Moses and experience a revelation of God, or Peter, James, and John get a revelation of God, or maybe you're Elijah and you want to have power over other forces in your life. He had to climb the mountain to make that happen. When Abraham wanted a promise, he didn't just go, hey, God, I want this promise. He had to climb the mountain, and not only did he have to climb the mountain, he had to offer something valuable, which is his son, and that's a picture of also Jesus and his relationship with us. One of the things that I think about when I think about that experience is Jesus also had to climb the mountain. He had to climb the hill of Golgotha so that we could have everlasting life. So folks, don't give up. You may be at that 5,000 foot mark in your experience. Maybe you're struggling with an answer, or you're dealing with. You may be at 2,500 square feet, or not square feet, but 2,500 feet of that mountain, or 5,000 feet, and maybe the answer is at 10,000. Don't give up. God has the answer. So often we quit right when we're at that mark. So my challenge is for you guys is to pray hard. Don't give up. Keep climbing. Know that God does have answers, that they may not be immediate. It may not be in our 21st century understanding of the gospel. Guys, a great example is this. If I want to get strong and built and have incredible muscles, I don't just walk into the gym and snap my fingers. No, I got to press on. I got to be in here for an hour or more to get any type of results almost daily. And if we can understand that in our personal life, that we have to come into a gym to get fit, and that gym experience has to be an hour, sometimes 2 hours, to get to the physique we want, the same should be true for our spirituality. We need to give God that same amount of time. Anyway, thanks for watching. My hands are getting a little nervous or a little shaky because I've had the phone up for too long. My name is Michael Knapp with the Well Church in Santa Rosa Beach. Our website is thewellchurchfl.com. That's thewellchurchfl.com. And come check us out Sunday mornings right now at 10:15 at Bayou Bills. Thanks so much, and God bless.